Right, so I'm being told I need to start producing. What form that's going to take, I'm not quite sure yet. I'm thinking maybe I'll start with possibly a course on sigils, or maybe even talismans. That might be cool. And I wasn't very enthused about it at first because my planet placements prefer to remain behind the scenes instead of being more public figure. But as this is coming to me over the past week or so, I mentioned my girlfriend I was reading a book, and she's like, well, you need to write a book because you explain things even to where I can understand them. And that's true because she's brought up Catholic. She doesn't have any like real interest in what I do with magic and stuff, but sometimes she's even more enthused about me performing my magic than I am, just because of the way I've explained things to her. So this is the direction that synchronicity is kind of nudging me in, and I know that if I ignore it, it's going to keep nudging me and nudging me and then pushing me and pushing me. So despite my reservations about most people not meant to have this knowledge, but here's the problem. People are getting a lot of this knowledge anyway, but they're getting it in a context where certain people are telling others, yes, here's a spell to kill your enemies. And these self-proclaimed spiritual authorities are being revered as such, largely based on the fact that they've produced 7 or 8 books and a couple of courses on black magic. And if this is where people are getting their spiritual advice from, we're in some serious trouble, folks. Serious trouble. If you think the Illuminati use these things to ill ends, and just wait until your average Joe neighbor uses this kind of stuff against you just for looking at him funny. And this has already been happening. But now with YouTube, it's really ramping up. Why do you think I've spent 20 plus videos on depolarization and those type of things? To give you a strong foundational base to where you feel you don't have to do those type of things and get yourself into trouble and others into trouble. So if I need to start producing in order to be taken seriously as a countervoice to such actions, then so be it. And that's the other thing, is that subconsciously people only equate things having value if there's a price tag attached to it. You know, they say that free advice is worth exactly what it costs because nobody takes it seriously because it was free. I know a guy since childhood who's now literally a beach bum, but he has extensive knowledge on everything. He knows exactly what you need, and he has no reservations telling you exactly what you need. But see, nobody takes him seriously because he's not produced anything with the knowledge that he has. You wouldn't take financial advice from a beach bum, would you? I may have even brought that up before. But here's the deal. You could fill your head with all the facts, figures, and logic and analyze everything, but if you don't put it into practice, it's not going to do you much good. That's why armchair occultism will get you nowhere. And that leads me to my next point. Do I need the money? Well, no. I mean, it'd be nice to be kept in candles and incense a little, be helpful, but I have a $3,000 vacuum cleaner, as I said. I don't need your money. I really don't. But I do need people to take action. And somebody who's actually paid for a course is more likely to follow through with that than somebody who got it for free. And that's just, unfortunately, the reality of it. However, I will always make freely available those things that I believe are absolutely crucial to your magical and spiritual development right here on this channel, as always. Because what I don't want to do is be like every other occult teacher out there and hold the keys to your spirituality for ransom. So I'm thinking that this is going to be more of the way that I personally do things. So if I do a course on sigils, it'll be how I do them, which isn't much different than how other people do them. There's plenty of resources out there. It's not like my specific way is the right and only way. Sorry, I had to get that. My dinner kind of depended on it. So this would be more for the people who want to know how I do things, which I'm asked about fairly often, actually. But not just how I do things, but the reasoning why behind it. Because there's a lot of how to do stuff out there, not a whole lot of why do stuff. But this is all in the idea stage now anyway. But I want to be able to get something going so that I have something available at the end of the year. And now that I've made the decision to do this, I'm going to put something really kick-ass together. I don't do things just half-ass. And I want it to be a win-win, because I really firmly believe in the win-win situation. This is a big part of my magic. And it's also a big part of why you should not do Baneful Magick. Because it's not necessary. Oh, well, I thought you said there is no good and evil, and that they're just polar opposites of the same thing. True, but there is a such thing as direction and flow. And if you don't like the direction that the world's going, why are you doing things to keep it moving in that direction that you swear you don't like? Baneful Magick isn't just limited to ritual, okay? Anytime you get mad and swear and curse at somebody and wish bad things on them, that is Baneful Magick. That is malicious intent. You know, and this is a big part of why they want you polarized and acting rashly on everything. I mean, people are flipping out over a rodeo clown wearing an Obama mask. Now all the rodeo clowns have to go to sensitivity training. No, people are too sensitive the way it is. What everyone needs is desensitivity training. You know? You can take my course at www.getoveryourself.com. Maybe that should be my course, you know? But, you know, seriously, got to start looking for the win-win. I had a couple of noisy neighbors. You know, they like the party. That doesn't do very well for my studies and my magical practice when things are really noisy and loud and people, woo, you know, outside next door. It's very distracting. And yes, it was irritating. But I got them to move through my magic, and not in a hateful, spiteful way. You know, I just visualized them moving to a better place. And it happened very quickly. 2 of my noisy neighbors are now gone. Just by visualization. I didn't even do ritual for that. That was just intent and visualization and emotion put into it. And I talked with one of them, and they're getting a bigger, better house, more suited to their needs. And I'm getting peace and quiet. That's a win-win. And this is how you should be doing your magic. You know, and cause harm to none? Well, what about bless all involved? Wouldn't that be a greater magic if everyone involved gets something good out of it? Maybe that asshole you were intent on getting back wouldn't be so much of an asshole then. And I know people would look at my neighbors moving as like, you know, well, that's just coincidence, you know, both of them. Well, that's just coincidence, you know, but it doesn't matter. My intent was for them to move, and they moved. And they got something good out of it. I got something good out of it. Everything's good. See, the chicken and egg arguments don't matter. Because everybody's looking at chicken and egg like this. In a linear fashion, when you should be looking at chicken and egg like this. Everything's a cycle. Everything's a circuit. You need to tap into that circuit if you want to make things happen. And I really need to break this down so that even a child can understand why you shouldn't do Baneful Magick. So it looks like I'm going to have to make a part 2. I'll see you then. Take care.